Hey everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. So today I'm here with probably one of the largest undertakings that I've ever undertaken in my history of reviewing smartphones. So what I have here today is the OnePlus 9 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. I'm going to compare them. I've used both of these phones extensively, like beyond extensively. I've used both of them as a daily driver individually for over a month. And I'll let you guess which one is actually my daily driver right now out of the two. We'll leave that to later, but I do want to talk about them because I think it's a really important conversation to have. We have the best and brightest that Samsung has to offer. We have the best and brightest that OnePlus has to offer, and they compete really well together. And yes, there are differences that both of them kind of edge out in certain areas over the other, but the bottom line of this is, and the TLDR, too long, didn't want to read, if you like Samsung, you're going to want this phone. If you hate Samsung, you're going to want this phone. But other than that, we're going to talk about a lot in this video. So strap in, stay tuned, grab your favorite soda. You're going to hear me talk for a while. But before we get into all that, I do want to say, this is your last chance to run. Like, if you don't want to watch this, if you don't want to hear me talk, get up and leave now. If you do, you're in for the long haul. There's a lot we're going to cover. And as I always like to say, if this is your first time stopping by the channel, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And if you enjoy the video by chance, hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Let's talk about these phones. All right, so right here, I got the S21 Ultra and the OnePlus 9 Pro. Now, I'll talk about the S21 Ultra first. So the S21 Ultra, best and brightest, probably the best phone I think that Samsung has ever made. I have the Fold 2, I had the Fold, I have the Z Flip 5G. I have every amazing phone that Samsung has made in the last year. And this one right here has really drawn me in. I liked it so much I ditched my Note 20 Ultra. You've got the S Pen support now, which is really nice. If you want to go ahead and buy the case that they have, you can get this Samsung silicone case with S Pen. The S Pen works with it, and so I like this S Pen. I think it's the right size for the phone because the tiny one, like the Note, I always feel like I'm sitting there like a little kid with the crayon, just too close. It's too small. I don't like it. You can even use the S Pen that you get with the Tab S7. Any of that stuff, it works with this phone. It works really well. This phone is going to be great for multitasking. And I'm going to talk about specs in here. I'm not going to make that the primary topic of conversation because a lot of the specs are very similar. You're going to hear me say, oh, well, the S21 Ultra has 5,000 milliamp battery. Oh, well, the OnePlus 9 Pro has 4,500 milliamp battery. Yes. A lot of the stuff doesn't really matter though, because at the end of the day, they perform almost exactly the same in almost every category. It really just boils down to the nuts and bolts of what makes them different. So that's kind of what I want to talk about, because they both have the Snapdragon AAA. They both have 12 gigs of RAM, depending on which model you get. You can get 8 gigs on the cheaper model, the OnePlus 9 Pro, but I've got the 12 gig model, the 256. Neither one of them have expandable storage. You're out of luck. You can't throw an SD card in them. And they've got great cameras, both of them. They shoot good video. They both shoot 8K video. They both take great pictures. They both have reverse wireless charging. They both have wireless charging. They both have all that stuff. So this one right here, the S21 Ultra, I really enjoyed it. Like when I first got this phone, I'm like, man, this phone is the bee's knees. I enjoyed using it so much. And then the battery was really like a giant drag on me. And I've looked at so many other different things. I've made 3 exclusive videos talking about how trash the battery is on here. And let me frame that, put that into context for you. For most people, you're probably going to get good battery life because you're going to have adaptive brightness on, because you don't even know that that's a thing. You're going to take this phone out of the box and you're going to use it as is, which means it's not going to be on 120 hertz. It's not going to be on Quad HD Plus resolution, which is the big selling point for this phone. You're probably going to be using it on Full HD at 60 hertz at adaptive brightness with enhanced processing turned off, because that's a default thing in the settings that already handicaps your processor. And it's going to be on dark mode. So you're probably going to get 7-8 hours of screen on time. The phone is going to last you all day without dying. That's great. You're going to enjoy it. So a lot of people, when I say this phone has bad battery life, they're like, what are you talking about, dude? It has great battery life. Well, here's the thing. If you turn the refresh rate all the way up to 120 hertz, if you turn the resolution up to Quad HD Plus, if you turn off, or if you turn on enhanced processing, if you turn off dark mode and use it in light mode, if you turn off adaptive brightness and you use this thing a lot, if you are a power user and the screen is on a lot, it'll be dead by 5 o'clock. And that's just the truth of the matter. That's my experience. That's other people's experience. If you use it with everything maxed out, then yeah, it doesn't last very long. It's like a Ferrari with like a 5-gallon gas tank. So, but it's a really good 5-gallon gas tank. This is an amazing phone. The haptic feedback, this is the first time I've ever put it next to a OnePlus and said, wow, it might actually have better typing. It might actually have better vibration motor for the feedback when you touch the screen. And that right there is a huge compliment, because when it comes to the OnePlus 9 Pro, OnePlus, that's always been it for me. It's like, man, these things have the best typing experience. They both have Android 11. They're both getting relevant security updates. They're both being patched. They both have great software support now. And it's funny saying that. OnePlus used to have amazing software support, and they've kind of throttled it back a little bit, especially on older devices. And Samsung, it wasn't even in the ballpark. Samsung was like, they have terrible software support, and now they're one of the best in the Android world. So they are doing a good job. You've got One UI. It works great. You get some of the cross-compatibility stuff. You've got the new Samsung Galaxy Book Pros coming out, which take advantage of being a laptop that's more like a phone. So you're going to be able to use some of that with your messages, send your notes over there, all that cool stuff. So Samsung is really trying to build this ecosphere out. They've had the watch for forever. You can get the Galaxy Watch. That's cool. You can get the tablet. You can get a lot of stuff. OnePlus kind of lags behind in that department. They just got their first watch. A lot of mixed reviews on it. Some people are like, yeah, it's okay. Some people are like, yeah, it's trash. I don't know if there's any people that are really like, oh, this is exceptional, but it's there. And I think OnePlus is doing a good job trying to catch up. They're much more infantile. They've not been around nearly as long as Samsung. So many things going for you here. This is the best video and camera experience on any Samsung in the history of all time. It takes such good photos. It takes really good video. This is a beast when it comes to video stuff, and it definitely has a big leg up over the OnePlus. OnePlus has good primary video, but anything on the front-facing selfie camera is limited by that 16 megapixel camera that's on there, that's been there for forever. This does not have a new selfie camera in it. It looks good, it works, but it really is kind of a letdown because they did so much to improve the cameras on the back, but not on the front, whereas Samsung really has gone the extra mile. They have made a really good setup here, and especially over the S20 Ultra last year, so many things have changed, and you get some beautiful pictures, you get good night mode pictures, you get good telephoto stuff, if you like that. It's cool to if you work downtown or you want to see something really far away. I find that it's not overly useful, but it works. And then you got the 108 megapixel camera, which just allows you to take really, really good pictures. You're just cramming so much content, so much data, so many pixels into that picture. So that's good. This has better biometrics on it. It has the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, which is more secure than the optical one that you get with the OnePlus 9 Pro. Now, they're both about equally as fast, but this one right here really has taken the cake for me, and you're going to get some varying degree of difference between whether you have a screen protector on it or not. I don't have a screen protector on here. The fingerprint sensor is utterly amazing. I love it. I like it a lot. The facial recognition is about equal on both. It works, but it's not as secure as like iPhone or like Pixel was with the Pixel 4. It's just kind of the basic facial scanning that you get with like $100, $200 Android phone. So it's nothing to write home about. Build quality is great. The battery life, it can be good, but if you use it all out like I do, it's really not that great, but neither is the OnePlus 9 Pro. Don't tell it. We'll get there. But yeah, it's a really good phone, and they've made some changes since it first came out. This phone, the S21 Ultra, came out MSRP $1199. Really expensive. That is a lot of money. It's a spicy meatball. I've been saying that for a long time when it comes to these expensive phones. So that changed almost immediately. Usually they take a month or two at least before they drop the price, but almost instantly it's like they wanted to go ahead and get out ahead of the OnePlus phone and cut it off at the pass and sell as many of these as possible, because the OnePlus 9 Pro getting in the door, $969. That's the 8 gig of RAM model, 128 gigs of storage. I don't even know if it's available yet. Like, it was announced and it's like, where's the phone at? So you basically have to buy the 1069 model, which is what I have here, 12 gigs of RAM, 256 on storage. That's basically what you get. But the thing is you can get an S21 Ultra now for $999, which is actually cheaper. So it's a little bit harder to recommend the OnePlus 9 Pro in certain areas, depending on what you want to do. Now, I told you this at the beginning of the video that we would talk about which one I'm actually using, and out of these two, I'm actually using the OnePlus 9 Pro. I ditched my S21 Ultra for the OnePlus 9 Pro. I've been using this exclusively as I'm not testing other phones, but this one right here usually has my main SIM card in it over my S21 Ultra. You're probably thinking, why? How, bro? Why? You know, it's Samsung. Well, here it is. Both of these phones, when you max them out, have truly not very good battery life. And I kill both of them by the middle of the afternoon. But here's the kicker. Here's the winning thing that gets me with the OnePlus phone. It has a 65-watt charger that is capable of recharging this phone from 1% to 100% in just 29 minutes, which is unfathomably amazing. Whereas the S21 Ultra takes a lot longer. It takes over an hour to fully charge all the way back up. So the way I live my life, which is constantly killing the phone battery, is I need something to recharge quick, fast, in a hurry. If you're down to 0.5%, like if you're down to 50% of the battery on the OnePlus 9 Pro, you plug it in. It has the warp charger. It comes with it in the box, which is amazing. Whereas the S21 Ultra doesn't even come with the charger in the box. So that's a whole nother point of contention. But you get the warp charger in the box with the 9 Pro. Let's say you're down to 50% battery. You plug it in, like 15 minutes, you're back at 100%. It's great. So even if I do manage to kill most of the battery by the middle of the afternoon or dinner time, I go throw it on the charger for 15 minutes, I'm back in the game. I'm good for the rest of the day. So if you find yourself in a position where you're always having to charge your phone, then the OnePlus 9 Pro might just be for you. And apples to apples, oranges to oranges, you get largely the same performance. What you get, like I said, is varying degrees of difference. So you've got Oxygen OS on the OnePlus 9 Pro, which I love. It's super fast, it's super zippy. It is probably my most favorite version of Android. Android 11, it's great. They use their own Oxygen OS, which is their custom user interface, and it's super zippy. I really enjoy using it. Then when you get One UI with the Samsung phones, it's a little laggier, a little clunkier, but it's like if you use One UI, you get the same experience on the tablet, the same experience on the phone. You get the messages that cross, between both of them if you've got them connected together. So there are some differences there. And then, like I said, you get the S Pen. The S Pen works really well with the S21 Ultra. It basically makes it like a Note. It kind of makes the Note obsolete. I actually like this better than the Note. Mostly because I like the form factor, I like the cameras on here, and it's nice. I like using the bigger stylus. The tiny one with the Note it's whatever. But also, the other added benefit you get with the S21 Ultra is DeX, whether that's wired DeX or wireless DeX. So you can cast it to the screen and use it like a computer. It's like having a computer desktop built into your phone. So you can use that via wired or wireless, and that's really a big multitasking tool that a lot of people like. Like you can connect it to your TV wirelessly and then use the phone like a mouse pad. And there's lots of really cool stuff that you can do. So if you're into multitasking, if you're into really into productivity, then the S21 Ultra is probably going to be for you. If you just like having a powerhouse of a phone, you like being able to play video games, you want to be able to charge your phone fast, if you like a more natural color profile when it comes to the camera stuff, the OnePlus 9 Pro is going to be for you. And whenever the phone first came out, there were some issues with it because it needed some software updates, which the OnePlus 9 Pro got, and I actually got it a few weeks later. I didn't experience any of that heartache and a lot of that people really seem to be turned off by, because they were reviewing the phone when it was on pre-release software, and then once it came out, nobody really bothered to wait around for a week or two to get these software patches, and were complaining about it. Well, it's good, and I really love the natural color profile. If you like photos that look more true to life and don't like those oversaturated blues, oversaturated greens like you get with Samsung, then you're going to like this. It looks very natural. It looks really good. The Hasselblad cooperative thing that they've got going on is good, and I think that it takes great pictures. The other thing that you get, the difference here with the camera setup, is they both have an ultra wide, they both have a telephoto, they both have a primary shooter. Where you get the big difference though is you get the super zoom with the S21 Ultra, where you can reach out a million miles away and look at something. And then what you get with the OnePlus 9 Pro is the macro lens, where you can look at stuff up really close. So the S21 Ultra can't look at stuff really close, and the OnePlus 9 Pro can't look at stuff super far away. Which one's more important to you? I mean, I really like being able to take cool pictures up close and personal, but also it's kind of nice every once in a while to zoom in and you can see actually what model of airplane is flying several miles above you. So they both have different kind of features, but they're both really good. And look, the cameras are great on both, the video's great on both, and I think there's a slight leg up on the OnePlus 9 Pro whenever it comes to some photography, most notably the macro lens stuff, the National Geographic up close and personal photos, and regular photos I think looks good too. And it does this kind of neat thing. Whenever you get close to stuff, it'll automatically kick in that macro lens, and you can get like really, really cool detail on certain photos that you're trying to take when you get closer, from like a mid-range point to up really close. So it's really cool how it blends both of those together, and I like the way that it looks. Whereas with the S21 Ultra, it takes some really vibrant photos. I think it's better at capturing images sometimes. They both have a little bit of shutter lag, but I think it's pretty much on par. A lot of people, and I think the biggest thing here to talk about is that a lot of people were like, oh, the OnePlus 9 Pro camera sucks. It doesn't. It's very good. And it's basically on par for most points with the S21 Ultra. Night mode, almost identical. Both very good at night mode. But what you get with the S21 Ultra is you get a much better selfie camera. It has a 40 megapixel camera on the front. It takes really good selfies, like super good selfies. It even has portrait mode for selfie camera, in addition to the primary camera, which both of them have. It also has the ability to use wireless earbuds as a lapel mic when you're using this in pro video mode, which is nice. And it actually has pro video mode, whereas the OnePlus 9 Pro just has pro camera mode. So there are a couple of differences here, but anything with the front-facing selfie camera I think is much better on the S21 Ultra. I mean, they're both very good. Don't get me wrong, it's good. You can take some good pictures and some okay video on the front-facing selfie camera, but right here is where it's at. You get 4K 60 on the front and on the back. You get 1080p on the front with the OnePlus 9 Pro. So let some of that stuff kind of sink in a little bit. If you're all about the selfie stuff and you really want some enhanced stuff there, like the portrait mode with the video, you want some of those other crazy things, the S21 Ultra is what you're going to want. But it's also a little bit more premium phone. But yeah, I think the biggest thing here is that the OnePlus 9 Pro competes very handedly in most areas and even wins in some areas when it comes to the actual camera stuff. So I like both of them. They both take good pictures, and I've reviewed both of them. You can check out the camera comparison stuff here in the link for the video. But overall, both very good phones. I like them both. They both have their pluses and minuses. I think I've probably covered them in most instances. I do need to focus on the OnePlus 9 a little bit more though. Beautiful, vibrant display. It has a curved edge display. I mean, they both do. The S21 Ultra and the OnePlus 9 Pro both have a slightly curved edge display. The OnePlus 9 Pro, it is a little bit thinner. I really like how it feels in the hand. You're gonna have a case on it, of course, pretty much on both of them. You don't wanna damage them. You don't wanna mess them up. Put a case on it. The OnePlus 9 Pro comes with a screen protector on it, straight out of the box. The S21 Ultra, depending on region, may or may not have one. And if you have the Qualcomm model in the US, likely you're not gonna get one. Mine didn't have one. But the OnePlus 9 Pro, again, like I said, it has IP68 dust and water resistance this time. That's good. The OnePlus 8 Pro did as well. So I like the trend with that. Beautiful display, HDR 10+. It's great for displaying and watching content. It's got the variable rate display on it. Both of them have 120 Hz refresh rate, which is just marvelous. You get that nice smooth scrolling experience. It's also great for reducing motion blur for gameplay. Quad HD plus resolution, you can adjust it on both. You can turn down the 120 Hz to 60 Hz. You can change the screen resolution from Quad HD plus to 1080p. So there are a lot of different things that you can do to adjust the experience to whether you like more high performance stuff, whether you want better battery life, and you can change it on the fly in the display settings pretty handily. So that's really about it when it comes to both of these. I wanted to talk a lot about kind of the day-to-day experience and some of the areas where they compete directly with each other. I've used both of them extensively, like I said. This one over a month, this one over a month, and I like both of them. You're not going to go wrong with either, and I think that's one of the big morals of this story. And I think it's a real testament to what OnePlus has done, because I think now they're finally pretty much on the same level. A lot of people are like, look, the OnePlus 9 Pro is not something that to compare with the S21 Ultra. They're kind of a different class. It's more supposed to be in line with the S21 Plus. Maybe in some areas. And there are some areas I do kind of expect maybe a little bit more out of the S21 Ultra, because it's the Ultra phone. It's like the biggest, the baddest. It's, $1199. It's a lot of money. It's almost $200 more expensive MSRP than the OnePlus 9 Pro. But this is the best phone that OnePlus has, so naturally, yes, you're gonna pit them against each other, and I think that the OnePlus 9 Pro holds its own. I think that if you're in the market for either one, you're not going to go wrong, and it really depends on what you want. If you want the Ecosphere, if you want DeX, if you want an S Pen, if you want better video capabilities, then yes, you're going to go with the S21 Ultra. If you want something that's not a Samsung, if you want a really good phone that has an equally vibrant and beautiful display, if you want great cameras, if you want super fast recharging so that you can get through the day all the time and never be tethered to anything to charge your phone, and I mean, they both have stereo speakers, they both have great sound, you can use the headphone dongle to convert it from USB-C to headphone jack. They have everything going for them. This is just finally, it's nice. It's great to have competition. It's nice to have an alternative to Samsung, so you're not having to go out there and like, well, maybe they'll get Asus. Oh, LG's gone. What do I use? Well, the answer is OnePlus, and OnePlus is a very viable alternative, and they've really brought their A game this year, and arguably, I think this is the best phone they've ever made. I like it a lot. So this is not really a B-roll centric video. This is a lot of focus on my experience using both of them so that I can tell you, hey, the pros and the cons of both. Now, one thing I do want to touch on, I forgot to mention earlier, they both have the Snapdragon 888, the best Android processor you can get right now. They are both prone to heating issues. If you put it on 8K or if you put it on 4K 60 and try to record for a long time, you'll start to drop frames, they'll start to stutter, they'll start to lag. You'll even get an overheating warning on both phones. I've experienced on both. Now, when both of these phones came out, it was cold outside. It was in the spring or in the winter, so it wasn't really a big impact. We won't really see the full impact until this summer when it's really hot outside and everyone's phones are overheating when they're trying to use video. So that's something to bear in mind for either one of these phones. If you do a lot of high quality recording stuff, you may end up hitting that temperature warning. As far as playing gameplay, I've not experienced it. You're going to get maximum enjoyment in either one of these for playing AAA game titles. They're both solid in that department, but that's something that I wanted to address. It's not the OnePlus issue that's the heat. It's not this S21 Ultra that's the heat. It's the Snapdragon 888 and how each one of the phone developers mitigates the heat issues, because when you're using it at full power, it produces a lot of heat and you can feel it through the phone. It'll get warm. So that's all I've got in this video. I know this is a lot. It's a whole lot to digest. I hope it's helpful. I hope that it's brought some meaning and put some perspective on these two phones to give you an idea of what they're both about. I've been trying to find a way to tackle this for a long time. I was like, look, I'm never going to get this done. I'm just going to sit down, I'm going to talk about it and tell you exactly what I think about both of them. For me, I like the 9 Pro better for a day-to-day carry perspective, but there are also reasons why that I like the S21 Ultra, especially when it comes to the tablet, and I'm also getting the Galaxy Book Pro 360 soon, so I'm going to be testing that out as well. So Ecosphere stuff, you still get a leg up as well with the Samsung, but they're very good phones, they're very expensive, they're very much worth it if you want to get either one of them. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, and I'm sure you will, please sound off in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And if you watch this to the end, you're a complete saint, because this is a long video with a lot of information. So thanks a lot, guys. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.